Alright guys, so without further ado, let's get right into it. So for this series, I'm going to assume that you're familiar with Node.js, you're familiar with NPM, you kind of just don't know how to tie in Puppeteer, and you're not really into automation like that, like you don't really know about Puppeteer. Puppeteer is a great library, you can always, you get a lot of information about websites and automation and testing. It's an all-around amazing library. So I already have a blank script open, pretty much just create a file called main.js, npm in it. Always have Node.js npm installed in your thing on your machine. So right, I already have it initialized. So for this right here is going to be kind of an optional step. I'm going to do it because I don't want to have to keep changing my my proxy password every single time I upload a video, but it's also a very nice library to use. A lot of people use it. It's called .env. So what .env does, it allows you to load in environment variables. So let's look at its usage. So here's its usage real quick, right? 32 million weekly downloads. I love when a package has that many downloads a week. And very simple usage, so in our context, what we're going to do is, let me see if it shows it right here. This is how we're going to use it, right? We're going to require it, and we're going to lead to the configuration of where the path, we're going to lead to the path of where we're hosting our environment variable. So, as you see, I already started it. So we're going to say test for now, proxy password equals, let's say test username, so it could be able to differentiate them. Test username, test password, proxy server, test server, proxy port equals test port. Okay, so at the end of this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace it with the actual values, but whenever we need it, we should be able to call it by saying process dot env dot whatever, I'm sure you guys get the point. Alright, so let's first console.log what process.env equals right now, right? You see, this is my environment variables right now, but it's not showing what's over here. Very simple how we do it. We say const dot env equals require dot env, again npm install dot env. We're going to make sure we have it in. Alright, very simple. You can wait for it to install. I already have it installed, and we do it exactly how the documentation said to do it. Alright, path is actually, you know what, we'll take use of another one, because you're going to notice when you're coding on different machines, you're going to have a problem where your paths are different, if that makes sense. Like by default, right? Windows would be C \dir to file, and then Linux, and it also works universally this way too. You can, but the way your path is read is different among different OSs, if that makes sense. So the way you kind of get past it and make it one way is you use the path variable and use a dir name. Okay, so first, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna console.log dir name. This shows your current where you're currently working. So it should give us the absolute path to over here. All right? Perfect. All the way over here. This matches this, and if you're using a Linux machine, Windows, Mac OS, you're using any kind of machine, it's going to show your absolute path. Okay? So what we're also going to do is we're going to say let env path equal, we're going to put it over here because we're going to load it in first, right? Again, I like separating my code in case I ever have to make an update. So you really and truly, you don't even have to put it in variables. I just like making that normal practice because you're going to notice the bigger your projects get, the more updates for things you never even thought of. Okay, so path dir name, and you're going to join /.env. Very simple. Okay, now we're getting console.log env path and see if that makes sense. Okay. env path. For some reason, code completion is not as quick when I use Camtasia. So here we go. This makes sense. Okay. So to test it out, okay, we're gonna just make this look a little bit prettier. .config path equals env path. Beautiful. Right? So now whenever we call process.env, it should have these variables right here also set in. So console.log process.env. Beautiful. Say okay, you know what? Just because I'm not sure if I have anything critical in my env, what we're gonna do is we're going to go and call proxy.username. It's a proxy username. Okay, that should equal test username. Beautiful. That's how we know it works, right? So we could do the same thing with password. Password, say test password. Wonderful. All right, so this is basic usage on .env, the .env package. So going forward, I'm gonna go and change this to my proxy credentials, which is gonna be supplied as soon as you go and purchase over here again. So I'm gonna go and switch this because now that I showed it to you. But going forward, I'm not gonna have to go and update it because it's in my environment variables, and I don't have to go and set these manually so people can't see it. All right, guys. Just a brief tutorial. This video is kind of optional because if you're making your own bot, you can just do it yourself. You can just add in the username and password for what I'm about to show you in the future videos. Alright guys, see you next video.